8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news, edited by Lal Malavarachi and read by Indrani Senanayake. The headlines. The police have started a house-to-house check to urge the people to obtain the vaccine. A total number of 13,765,283 doses of the COVID vaccine have been administered thus far. Another 111 COVID-related deaths. The highest in a day was reported this evening. The Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka says that China gives priority to support Sri Lanka to control and eradicate COVID. In foreign news, Greece wildfires. Evia Island residents forced to evacuate. In sports news, the United States tops the medal table for the sixth time in several Olympic Games. Senior advisor to the President, Lalit Veeratunga, says that the government has been able to vaccinate over 13 million people of the population of 22 million. However, there are some people who have evaded taking the vaccine due to various fears. Therefore, the police have started a house-to-house check to urge the people to obtain the vaccine. As per the statistics of the Epidemiology Unit of the Ministry of Health, Sri Lanka has administered a total number of 13,765,283 doses of COVID vaccine by yesterday. Accordingly, a total of 10,986,524 people have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and 2,778,714 people have completed the full 2 doses. The first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine has been given to 1,103,873 individuals, and the second dose of the same vaccine has been given to 860,723 persons. The first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine has been given to 8,724,866 people. A total of 159,081 individuals have received the first dose of the Russia-made Sputnik V vaccine, and the second dose has been administered to 14,503 persons. The first dose of the Pfizer vaccine has been given to 250,763 persons. The second dose has been given to 458 individuals, and 747,941 individuals have received the first dose of the Moderna vaccine. The Director General of Health Services today confirmed another 111 COVID-19 related deaths for August the 8th. Sri Lanka's death toll due to the coronavirus has climbed to 5,222 with this. This is the 5th consecutive day that the daily count of the COVID-19 deaths has exceeded 90. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health reports that another 1,928 persons have tested positive for the novel coronavirus today. This increases the total number of COVID-19 cases confirmed in the country thus far to 331,922. Sri Lanka's tally of COVID-19 recoveries has risen to 295,518, while the death toll from the virus has reached 5,111. The Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Cheng Zhou-yuan, said that his government has given priority to support Sri Lanka to control and eradicate COVID. Accordingly, he said that necessary donations and assistance will be given to Sri Lanka. He mentioned this during a discussion with Health Minister Pavitra Wanyarachi today at the Chinese Embassy. The Health Minister appreciated the support given by the Chinese government by providing essential medical equipment to save the lives of many patients. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking.
We continue with local news. Minister G.L. Piri says justice will be done for teachers and to the entire public service in the forthcoming budget. The cabinet decision was to provide solutions in the forthcoming budget while considering the country's economic situation. He said today that the plan of the government was to give the second dose of a vaccine to teachers and non-academic staff before the end of August. The aim was to open schools in stages from the first week of September after giving both vaccine doses. However, it is uncertain whether to open schools in the first week of September due to the present situation. The minister pointed out that online education is important under such a backdrop. Therefore, he pointed out it is unfair for teachers to move out of online education. The Ministry of Health reports that another 1,928 persons have tested positive for the novel coronavirus today. This increases the total number of COVID-19 cases confirmed in the country thus far to 331,922. Sri Lanka's tally of COVID-19 recoveries has risen to 295,518, while the death toll from the virus has reached 5,111. The Colombo Magistrates Court today rejected the bail application filed by 4 suspects, including the wife of MP Rishad Bathiuddin. The order was issued when the case regarding the death of a teenage domestic worker serving the Bathiuddin's household was taken up today, the 9th of August. The magistrate had further remanded the suspects until the 23rd of August. On the 15th of July, a 16-year-old girl who was serving as a domestic help at the Bathiuddin residence succumbed to severe burn injuries while receiving treatment at the Colombo National Hospital. She had been under medical care for 12 days since her admission to the hospital on the 3rd of July. The girl was residing in Dayagama area, had been 15 years of age when she was brought to the parliamentarian's residence at Baudha Lokamavata for domestic work last October. The judicial medical officer who conducted the post-mortem on the girl's death concluded that she had been sexually abused. Next, we take a look at the main news story.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking. People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The main news story. The Immigration and Immigration Department has announced the validity period of all types of visas currently obtained by foreigners residing in Sri Lanka has been extended by 30 days from the 8th of August to the 7th of September. The department said only visa fees applicable for that period would be charged for the visas expiring within this period and exempted from charging an overstay penalty. That was the main news story. Watchlight is up next.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
On to Watchlight, the Pensions Department requested pensioners to not visit the department to resolve any related issues. Instead of visiting the department, pensioners are able to forward their visas, their issues or inquiries on the hotline 1970. This decision was taken considering the prevailing COVID-19 situation in the country. That came to you in Watchlight. Next, we have a bulletin of world news. First, the headlines. Greece wildfires. Evia Island residents forced to evacuate. Belarus leader Lukashenko denies links to dissidents' death. The smallest baby at birth is now at home after 13 months in hospital. Wildfires are continued to rip through the Greek island of Evia, prompting residents to flee to safety by sea. More than 2,000 people have already been evacuated, with elderly residents carried on ferries. Local officials said not enough help has been sent to fight the fires, adding that parts of the island had already been destroyed. Greece is experiencing its most severe heat wave in 30 years, in which temperatures have spiked to 45 degrees centigrade or 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Belarus's president has denied claims that his security services were involved in the death of dissident Vitaly Shishkov, who was found hanged in neighboring Ukraine last week. Who was he for me and for Belarus? For us, he was simply a nobody, President Alexander Lukashenko told reporters. Vitaly Shishkov was organizing help for Belarusians to flee to Ukraine from Mr. Lukashenko's post-election crackdown. There were huge anti-Lukashenko rallies after the disputed vote a year ago. A baby, thought to be the world's smallest at birth, has been discharged from a Singapore hospital after 13 months of intensive treatment. Q.U. Zuan was just 212 grams, 7.47 ounces, the weight of an apple, when she was born and measured 24 centimeters long. She was delivered at just under 25 weeks, far short of the average 40. The previous record holder was a girl in the US who weighed 245 grams at birth in 2018, according to the University of Iowa's Tiniest Babies Registry. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. Greece's wildfires, Evia Island residents forced to evacuate. Belarus leader Lukashenko denies links to dissidents' deaths, and smallest baby at birth is now at home after 13 months in hospital. That ends this bulletin of world news. Development news is up next.
Development News is brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, number one in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
Win lakhs and lakhs with CIB Janajaya. 40% discount for your bills till 15th of August. 6 hand tractors at the Grand Row. CIB Janajaya.
On to development news. The Environment Ministry is to designate an environmental conservation zone along the Kalani River from Hangwala to Paliaguda. Environment Minister Mahinda Amaravira has instructed the Central Environment Authority, CEA, to mark the protected boundaries of all rivers as a measure to protect them from environmental pollution. It has been found that factories and businesses located along the river system, as well as the people living in the vicinity, discharge all types of pollutants into our river system. The Members of Parliament also pointed this out at the Environment Parliamentary Consultative Committee meeting last week. They pointed out that some individuals had used political power and bribed officials to build a number of unauthorized structures along the river, thus causing massive environmental pollution associated with the river system. Therefore, the program to mark the protected boundaries covering all rivers should be initiated first from the Kalani River, the minister said. That was development news. Next we take a look at sports news.
Development News was brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, number one in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
Win lakhs and lakhs with CIB Janajaya. 40% discount for your bills till 15th of August. 6 hand tractors at the Grand Row. CIB Janajaya.
On to sports news. The United States tops the medal table for the 6th time in 7 Olympic Games. At all 7, they have won the most number of medals. Japan is in 3rd place in the medal table with 58 medals, including 27 gold, is a country's joint best with Tokyo 1964 when hosting and Mexico 1968. Great Britain finished 2nd in Rio 2016 and 3rd in London 2012. However, this team, Great Britain's 2nd best performance at an overseas Olympics after Rio with 67 medals. That was a look at sports news. Up next is business news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Land valuation in Colombo has increased by 6.8% during the first 6 months of this year. It now stands at 155.1 in the Land Valuation Index. It shows a growth of 9.5 annually. That was business news. Next is economic news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
On to economic news. Sri Lanka's central bank will operate and provide services this week under coronavirus protocols already in place, an official said, after several staff members tested positive. This is not the first time there have been positive test results, the official said. The central bank periodically carries out random tests, and coronavirus protocols had been developed in the past, which will allow departments to function, he said. Most government departments have developed systems where staff members work from home and a limited number of staff come to office for essential work and on rotation. That was economic news. Finally, we take a look at the weather report.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says showers will occur at several places in the western, Sabragamua and central provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batticaloa districts during the evening or at night. Fairly strong winds up to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected in the Hambantota district. That was a look at the weather report. To end tonight's news broadcast, the headlines again after this message.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
To end tonight's news broadcast, the headlines again. The police have started a house-to-house check to urge the people to obtain the vaccine. A total number of 13,765,283 doses of the COVID vaccine have been administered thus far. Another 111 COVID-19 related deaths, the highest in a day, was reported this evening. The Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka says that China has given priority to support Sri Lanka to control and eradicate COVID. In foreign news, Greece wildfires. Evia Island residents forced to evacuate. And in sports news, the United States topped the medal table for the 6th time in 7 Olympic Games. That ends this